Linear inequality. Linear inequalities, and at the same time we'll be looking at sequence and series. So under which we'll be taking the arithmetic progression and the geometric progression. On this wise, we've actually looked and worked on different rudiments and principles that we need to know, and some illustrations that give a brief overview of everything we need to know as far as these topics are concerned. But we did be looking at past questions now. We did be looking at questions that has been tested by examiners in time past on these topics. So join me as we move on in the train together. So we move to the past question, and for arithmetic progression we'll be looking at a question in the 2017 WAEC SSA. 2017 WAEC the theory test question number 2017 WAEC question number 4. So let's attempt the question, and we provide solutions to you. We provide different deployable medium that could actually be utilized anytime you are faced with progressions question in an exam condition. So let's look at the question. The question says, if the sixth term of an AP, if the sixth term of an AP, if the sixth term of an arithmetic progression is 37, and the sum of the first 6 terms and the sum of the first 6 terms and the sum of the first 6 terms is 147. Is 147. Find the A, the first term, B, the sum of the first 15 terms. So this is a very simple question, and I believe this question should worth nothing less than peradventure like 10 to 15 marks. It's a very simple question which I believe we all know. We should be able to know how to provide solution to it based on the rudiments and the basics that has been studied in our previous sessions. So according to what I said, I always say mathematics is one of the most simple subjects, one of the most simple courses you could actually ever thought of. But when you are attempting a mathematics question, any question or thereabout in every other discipline or course of study, you always need to have a positive mindset that you can do it. So when you are studying question or where you are solving question in mathematics, one of those things you need to note is you need to be very careful while interpreting to know what are the technicalities that the examiner is trying to test. Now, the question says that we should find the first term. The first term in this case is our A, and the next question says we should find the sum of the first 15 terms. That's the sum of an nth term. That's the formula. If you still remember, our formula is n over 2 open bracket 2a plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. Solution. To get our A, what you do is this. If you go back to the question, then interpret accordingly and put down necessary parameters that will be useful in approaching this question. If the sixth term of an AP is 37, don't forget, sixth term. And how do we get our nth term, that's going to be a plus n minus 1d. Minus 1d. So in other words, our sixth term is going to be a plus, that's 6 minus 1, that's 5d. Now they said that the sixth term of an AP is actually equals to what? Is actually equals to 37. Note that a plus 5d is equals to 37, equation number 1. We move further. It continues and gives us more other information or additional notes that will be useful for solving the question. It says, and the sum of the first 6 terms. Then this is trying to use or talk about sum of an nth term. And what's the formula? When you need to recall the formula of sum of an nth term, which is n over 2, open bracket 2a plus open bracket n minus 1d. In this case, what's our nth term? Our nth term is 6. Sum of the first 6 term is actually then going to be 6 over 2. N, you substitute 6 for n, wherever you come across it. N over 2, 2a, we are not given a, plus n minus 1, 6 minus 1, d. 6 minus 1 is going to be 5d. So let's simplify this further. We have 3 into bracket 2a plus 5d is equals to what? The sum of the first 6 term is 147. So equate this with 147. So that's going to give us 3 minus 3 times 2a, that's going to be 6a plus 15d is equals to 147. So call this equation 1, call this equation 2. So we move on by saying, what's equation 1? Equation 1 is a plus 5d is equals to, a plus 5d is equal to 37. Equation 1. While equation 2 is 6a plus 15d is equals to 147. We could actually simplify this further by saying divide 2 by 3. Divide equation 2 all through by 3. So in this case, we are going to have 6a over 3, that's going to be 2a, plus 15d over 3, that's going to be 5d, then 147 over 3, that's going to be 49. Okay? So let's call this equation 2 now. Are we there? So when you get to this junction, the next thing you do is you solve simultaneously. Then how do we solve? We say from equation 1, we could actually rewrite it as a equals 37 minus 5d. So this is going to be equation 3. So we say substitute 37 minus 5d for a in equation 2. For a in equation 2. So that's going to be, so anyway you see, a, you substitute 37 minus 5d for it. So that's in equation 2. So you go back to equation 2. Equation 2 is 2a plus 5d. So we have 2. So we have 2 into bracket a is going to be 37 minus 5d plus 5d equals 49. So open the bracket, we have 74 minus 10d plus 5d equals to 49. So we have 74 minus 10d plus 5d, we have minus 5d equals to 49. So minus 5d comes here, 49 comes here, we have 74 minus 49 is equals to 5d. So we say 5d is equals to 74 minus 49. That's actually going to be 25. So divide both sides by 5. We have our D common difference to be equals to 5. But don't forget, the question didn't say we should find the common difference. The question says find the first term. To actually get the first term, what you do is, since we have an equation that gives us a direct explanation on how, or enunciation on how to get our A directly. So you say substitute 5 for D in equation 3. So you come to equation 3 and you say A equals to 37 minus 5 into bracket. What's our D? Our D is 5. We have A is equals to 37 minus 25. Therefore, A is equals to 37 minus 25, that's going to be 12. That's our A. Let's attempt the second part of the question, which says find the sum of the first 15 terms. That's going to be, how do we solve for that? S subscript 15, that's going to be 15 over 2, open bracket 2A plus open bracket n minus 1, that's going to be 15 minus 1, 14D. So we've gotten our A and we've gotten our D. So we say that's going to be 15 all over 2, open bracket 2A. Our A is actually 12 plus 14. What's our D? Our D is 5. So that's going to be 15 all over 2 in bracket 2 times 12. That's 24 plus 14 times 5. 14 times 5, that's going to be 70. So we say 15 all over 2 in bracket 24 plus 70. That's going to be 94. So we say 2 here 1, 2 in 94. That's going to give us that's going to give us 47. So our final answer of sum of the first 15 terms will be 15 times 47. And 15 times 47, 15 times 47, that's going to be 705. So this is solution to the WAEC 2017 Theory Test Mathematics question number 4. So there's nothing about academics excellence, just depends on your ability to put in your best, to put in your effort, and your consistency in putting your effort gives you and allows you to gain mastery on anything the examiners are testing. In our next session, we will proceed further to another question on arithmetic progression. Thanks.